Hello. Redundancy is God. Diversification is the divine. Yeah, said the fat tattooed monkey. Someone today, I was at Lowe's and somebody was having a hard time looking at something. They didn't even turn around. I was like, it's hard to find stuff in the store, isn't it? And before the guy turned around and looked at me, he goes, I know that. I know that voice. He said, you're that Nikon guy. Like, oh, well. You don't realize who you're talking to on the interwebs. Yeah, I did say interwebs. Until you kind of go out there. I remember I had my mother in a mall in Orlando a few years ago. My mother kind of got freaked out. I was with her in the mall, and she's like, yeah, these people stopped me. He's like, oh, what's your videos? And my mother was like, it's weird. Bruce Lee actually said, be like water. I forget the rest of that quote, but I mean, it's kind of blatantly obvious. We don't need to say any more than that, right? Be like water. Redundancy is God, and diversification is the divine. I noticed a lot of things that people have been telling me recently, and kind of that everybody knows, have had their eyes halfway open, is that people have had to leave their jobs, or they're just, they're at a loss. And I, like other people, even though I work 7 days a week, I'm not doing, hard manual labor. I mean, other people, even if they don't work 7 days a week, normal people, even if they only work 5 days a week, they have a wife and kids and brothers and sisters and social obligations. So the regular job might not be 7 days a week, but it still ultimately ends up being 7 days a week, and it's nonstop. And so many people, most people, in fact, I mean, you have to agree with me, they don't make plans for redundancy, and they don't diversify their life. If they reach a brick wall, they don't have a backup plan. I used to do tech support on Apple's website, and people would contact me, and they'd have like all their data in one location. You never have all your eggs in one basket. The wisest people have ever lived that have given asset advice to other people, and I don't even pretend to be someone that's trying to give financial advice. I do not even pretend to do that. They've all said portfolio diversification is the summum bonum of importance, and after that, of course, is making wise investments. I have noticed, and I forgot the guy's name, but he actually did say it, and he advises, he's like top advisor to the super rich, and in normal times advises people to stick 10% of their money in land, and now he says a minimum of 20%. I know several millionaires. This is a fact. The only reason they like me is, number one, I never ask them for money. They find that important. Number two, they know I'm really smart. And number three, if they have a question about something, they know I can find the answer really quick, can find the right answer really quick. And these people are getting their money out of money. Superficially, that sounds self-contradictory. They're getting their money out of money. They're sticking it into hard assets. Land, silver, other things that I won't mention. I, in fact, know a millionaire that went out and bought an enormous amount of a certain item that in super tough times is itself its own form of currency. I'll let you figure out what that is. Land, skills, gold, silver, freedom seeds. these are hard assets. A couple of the best experts that I know, and I don't pretend to be any person, I do not even begin to pretend to be any person to ask any advice on crypto. I don't pretend to be that, okay? So before you attack me, I just like to state that a couple experts that I respect say that they feel like a lot of people are jumping out of the frying pan in this hyperinflation situation we have going on, jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire with crypto. The future of crypto seems incredibly uncertain. I keep telling people you need electricity for crypto to work. You need a network for crypto to work. I mean, this is digital flatulence. Let me repeat that. Digital flatulence. Was that abundantly clear? Surviving 2022 and going forward. There is incredible astronomical, actually, tyranny going on in the world. You know it and I know it. I've put my money where my mouth is, what little bit of money that I have, which is essentially none. Sold off everything that I don't need, the superfluous, to buy land and diversify my life as much as possible. And I've been doing leather work now for like 20 years. But I posted a picture up on Instagram of, I've got $12,000 of leather sewing machines now. I guess people say, why do you need three? And people just don't have any clue why. And that's okay. Like when it comes to a specific skill, people just they don't know. It's like, why do you need three? One's a lightweight, one's a medium weight, and this machine over here is an oh my god weight. In other words, it'll do anything. It's the most powerful leather sewing machine in the world. Diversifying skills. There's been an old saying that's been around now for decades that when the world falls apart, plumbers and electricians will still be highly paid professions. Your typical college person with a 6-year degree in wokeness, a 6-year degree, a PhD in woke. it's not gonna. Nobody wants it. Nobody needs it. And I'm sorry to say that. I actually take a lot of pride in manufacture. So I got some some thin buffalo stuff here. I actually use this to make the outside of the wallets. I need to redo a wallet. I spent the past 72 hours a couple days ago fine-tuning my new sewing machine. This is me fine-tuning it, getting it dialed in. It actually has to be tuned, just kind of like a car engine has to be tuned. All these ridiculous random stitches on this scrap piece of buffalo is, and I went through 3 pieces doing this, just getting it dialed in. You think, oh, you just turn it on, you sew. No. Typically when you have a machine, you have it set for specific thread weight and needle size, and you need to dial it in for the stuff that's why I have 3 machines. I mean, also too, that lightweight machine, even though it's a heavyweight machine, can't even come close to stitching what that monster over there can. Skills are so incredibly important. I was not taught this stuff, and I'm sure you weren't taught this stuff growing up either. Having these skills is really important. People pay for intelligent, useful advice. I have a 100% track record. I've always had, and I'm not trying to puff myself up at all, I really have a 100% track record on finding land. Anybody can find land and spend money on land, but finding good land, I could sniff it out like a hog sniffs out truffles. My rich buddy says, man, when someone comes to finding a deal, you can sniff them out like a hog sniffs out truffles, he says. Truffles. Need to find the one thing before you invest in it. You need to become an expert on it before you stick your money into it. I made a few mistakes when I was younger. I kind of grew up buying gold and silver. I made some really awesome buys on land much earlier in my life, in my mid 20s to my late 20s, and that helped pay for a few things. And then life got busy, marriage, all that other stuff. One of the main reasons that there's so many millions of places that have signs up that say help wanted is that nobody wants to return to those dead-end jobs. I would rather end up homeless on the street pushing a cart than be another peon working for, the man, whoever the man is, whether it be a small business, like I'm working for the man. It's just, I'm not going to do it anymore. I've had enough of that filth in my life, and I'm never going back to it. And I think a lot of kids realized, because of inflation, it's like their dream is not achievable. Like, you used to make fun of somebody that was in their 20s still living with their parents, and now there's no reason to make fun of those people anymore. Not that I ever did to begin with. Is because that's what they're forced to do now. It's like they cannot stay afloat. There's so much people don't realize that inflation is a tax. People complain about gas and food and all this other stuff that being so much more expensive. It's a tax. It's not the tax that we're used to, coming from the evil government, but it is a tax. It's a huge, huge tax. I thought about getting into the import-export business, the legal kind, where you go find stuff where stuff is cheap, and then you take it back where it's not cheap. There are many people that do this, and not many people that are taking advantage of that. I know a couple up in Cincinnati. They travel the United States having fun doing it, legally, picking up petrified wood. The only tools that they have are this special saw that cuts the petrified wood in half. I got examples of it over here. It's a gorgeous piece, by the way. Cutting it in half and polishing it, that's a dirty job, but, they have fun and they bring it back and they sell it in rock shows, blah, blah, blah. Sell it online. But, the stuff that they pick up is legal and it's free. That's essentially an import-export business. They're importing it from where you could find it laying on the ground. They're cutting it up, and people, like me, they appreciate it. There's all sorts of stuff like that. I think none of us were taught, and I'm pissed, and you should be pissed, that none of us were taught about making intelligent income. And I really only care about wisdom. The only reason I care about money at all is so I can pay the friggin' bills, It's gas, it's house insurance, car insurance, property taxes, gas, water, electric, phone, cable, cell, regular gas, regular food. It's ridiculous. And there's so much tyranny. And it was tough, to make ends meet before. Same for me as it probably is for you, unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth or inherited a bunch of money. And now it's way tougher. You know it, and I know it. There's working hard and there's working smart. I see a lot of people work really hard, and, bless them. They work hard, but I got nothing against anybody working hard and, sweating their guts out. But there's working hard and there's working smart. You just can't make ends meet and survive by working hard. It used to be true that, you worked a hard day's work, you got a good pay, and you went home and you kicked your feet up and you rested, and one person's income was enough to take care of the whole family, and that's hell and gone. That is absolutely hell and gone. You know it, and I know it. I've seen some of the least intelligent people in this world that are filthy rich, not by what they know, because they're so incredibly unintelligent, but by networking, You can get so much farther by networking than by having a brain. Does that make life unfair? Sure as hell does. Nothing in life is fair. Almost nothing in life is fair. But when they used to say it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, oh man, that's way more true than you have any idea. I'm unrolling this $40 spool of super beefy thread that goes to my monster sewing machine. Yeah, this roll is $40. It's bonded nylon, by the way. This is $277, which is about like kite string. This is 207. That's $277. I'd rather complain at the person I see in the mirror as my boss, which is my boss, than be under the thumb or whims of somebody else. If I need to make ends meet, work triple hard doing stuff, and I technically do have 4 jobs, then that's my obligation to do it. Money is quickly becoming, things are going off the rails fast. If you don't know that or believe it, then you've been asleep. They just are. And I know why people now, by having a really long look for many, many months now. It's like, all these people, it's like, why is nobody working? They're offering a lot more pay than they used to be. It's like, we desperately need people to come to work. We've tripled our wages, what we normally pay. We got bonuses, incentives, and they still can't get people to work. Kind of like my bank, my local bank, it's been closed to walk-ins for many, many months. You have to go through the drive-thru only. He's like, the lobby's closed. Everybody just quit. They just got sick of being paid a slave wage. It's like, I'm not going back to that. Even if, in many cases this is the case, they doubled the pay. It's like, okay, we're going to double the pay. They still don't want to come back. People are sick of those dead-end jobs. And this is a planned This is planned, by the way. All of this has been perfectly planned. That way, we all can't point to one source, you know? Even though we can point to one source if we're smart enough, it makes it look like this collapse that's going on is a result of multiple factors. But it's not. It's planned perfectly. I'll tell you flat out right now, if you don't think there's a planned collapse going on, then you've either been asleep, or your brain has slipped out of your ears, or you're blind, or you've had your head in the sand, or all of the above. Flat out tell you right now. I've crunched too much information in my head. Way more than you have. I guarantee you I've crunched more information in my head about what's going on. No tinfoil hat on, no nutter stuff. I've been crunching the info, been looking at it from every possible angle, keeping an open mind, weeding out the nonsense and the crazy links that people send me with, nutties, just like nutty videos, just like, give it a rest. I could weed through that stuff fast. Eliminating out all the nutty wackadoodleness. Yeah, I know that's not a word. I can see there's a plane collapse going on. It's just flat out undeniable. There's so many things I'm seeing coming out of Europe. It is unbelievable. There is a list of things that's I heard one today. I couldn't believe it until I got sent the video. I had to hit English subtitles on it. It's from Denmark. The government officials essentially said that the unjuiced will not escape. And he basically insinuated, that they're going to hunt you down if you're unjuiced. I was like, what? This is a government tube page, a government official. Oh, yeah, it's right there. It should have been shocking to me, because I knew this is what's going on. It's building to that crescendo. Right now, the layers of the cake are being built, and they're about to put the ice cream, the cream topping on the cake, and then they're going to do all the little sprinkles, and then they're going to stick the cherry on top. Diversify your life. Redundancy is God, and diversification is divine. Repeat that to yourself twice every day for a week. Redundancy is God, and diversification is divine. Thank you. By the way, Merry Christmas. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to do the cheesy version. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. There's nothing to laugh about right now, actually. Not much, anyway. Lux Veritas.